Hello and welcome back to another episode of Kibble Watches. This is episode 91. We should be hitting around 94 or 95 by the end of the year. So close to 100, which is incredible. And I want to thank you guys and girls because it has been a great few weeks. Obviously, as a lot of you know, the market is a lot softer. That isn't just this market, that's the housing, that's every market you can possibly imagine, even gold, which is doing the opposite of what it usually does at times like this. So there's a lot of uncertainty and there's a lot of hesitation out there, which we're noticing, and I get it. You know, at the end of the day, it's been a strange couple of years. There's been an influx of cash because of COVID. There's been just things that have never happened before have all happened, and multiple things all at once, which is leaving a lot of people uncertain for next year. So I completely get it. So there's not as many people splurging thousands as they once were, but there's still plenty of you still doing it. So I appreciate you guys and girls. You're keeping us more than busy, and stock-wise, we are through the roof. It's incredible how much we've got coming in, and this week is no exception. 10 incredible watches, varied for you guys and girls, and we heard you. You said you wanted more vintage. I've been working really hard to get you more vintage. Vintage is a lot more difficult than modern because modern is usually, for the most part, ready to go. It might need a service or a polish, very rarely a polish. We don't often do that, but it's usually ready to go and hit the website and nice and easy, straight from into the photography to then on the website. Whereas vintage, it's a bit more of a process. There's a lot more authenticating going on. You know, everything gets authenticated anyway, but with vintage, we have to check more thoroughly. Is it a redial? Is it, you know, blah, blah, blah. We have to go through these procedures. And then there's the servicing and getting them ready for the website for you guys and girls, looking as nice as possible. So yeah, vintage takes a little bit longer. That's why we don't have as much of it in as we would probably like. But we are working hard on that. Next year, we're going to work even harder and bring you guys and girls even more vintage as well as modern, just like this drop. I mean, we've got a brand new unworn Breitling Navitimer all the way to a beautiful Zenith. I can't wait to show you this, and a very interesting Tissot, which I think easily gives Omega Seamasters in the same sort of price range a run for their money, and I would go for the Tissot personally. But yeah, nice varied drop, and I think you guys and girls are going to really enjoy it. What's on wrist? I am wearing a Vertex MP45 manually wound. So we just got this in. Beautiful watch, as you know. We just sold the automatic version, and the manually wound version is a bit more desirable than the automatic. I don't think this is going to last long, especially at the price we're asking, way over $1,000 off retail, and it's in fantastic condition, full set, everything like that. So if you're watching this and it's still available, hit me up and we can talk prices and make it yours. But yeah, that's what's on wrist. Really cool watch. In terms of Christmas, we have decided what we're doing. Obviously, things may still change. By the time you're watching this, it's going to be the 10th of December, and the rest of this week we're going to be working hard to get ahead, so that way we can actually have a proper Christmas off. Obviously, I will still be responding to emails and messages, maybe at a slower capacity because I will be spending it with my family. It's my first Christmas with my daughter. So yeah, it's going to be a very exciting time. So I am going to be taking a little bit longer off than previous years. So I apologize in advance for any of you out there who really care, which I suspect many of you don't. But anywho, our final day in the office, and this may be a very short day as well, will be Thursday the 22nd of December. So after Thursday the 22nd of December, the office will be closed and we will not be shipping out, we will not be doing any of those things, and we will be coming back to the office on the 9th of January, which is going to be some of the longest time I've ever had off, about 2.5 weeks altogether, that works out to be. So 22nd December, office close. 9th of January, we will open back up and begin business as usual, ready for the next year. So as I say, slightly longer than usual. Obviously in that time, there's a couple of bank holidays anyway, and obviously Christmas, New Year's, the usual stuff. So we would be closed typically during that anyway. What I will say is there will probably be one of the days on the sort of week commencing Monday the 2nd, that week that leads up to Friday the 6th. I'm just looking at the calendar, by the way, that's why I'm looking over here. So Monday the 2nd to Friday the 6th of January, one of those days I will probably come in, ship out some orders that have been made over the Christmas period, so that way you guys and girls will get your watches, but I probably won't be hosting any viewings or meetings. I'm going to say that now just to sort of make it clear, so that way I'm in, I post, and then I head home and go back to my family and my little Christmas break. So yeah, now that all of the rambling is out the way, let's crack on with what you're here to see, and that is the watches. We're going to start with the incredible Breitling Navitimer. This is the 806 re-edition, which at first glance it looks like the vintage. It's incredible how well they've done this. So let's take a closer look at this watch. So what a watch to begin this week's episode with. You'll have to excuse anything coming from over there. It's a very domed sapphire crystal, as you can see, which looks incredible. What you're looking at right here is the Breitling Navitimer 1959 806 re-edition, which looks identical really to the original. Obviously there are some slight details with the logo and different bits and bobs, but it's very true to the original, and it looks fantastic. It really does look like a vintage Breitling Navitimer. And a few people at first, when we posted this on our Instagram, because we always post there early, thought it was a vintage, which just goes to show how incredible, how much of an incredible job Breitling have done. As you can see, it's still stickered. It is unworn. Any sort of curvature to the strap is where it's been fastened in the box. You can see it in fantastic condition, and you're getting yourself a brand new watch. I won't bore you with the reference of this one, because it's a very long reference, which Breitling love to do, but it's a limited edition of 1,959 pieces, and inside is a manually wound Breitling caliber B09, a very reliable manually wound chronograph movement, which works as normal: start, stop, and reset. Fantastic looking watch with that faux patina, the glide rule, and all of the information, which is what made Breitling famous really with this kind of stuff. This watch from December 2019 with its box and papers and its extended manufacturer warranty, but they show on wrist and taut dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. You can see that looks fantastic. So 41mm by 48.5mm lug to lug, 13.5mm thick, and that is including that heavily domed crystal. And what you're looking at is 22mm on the lug, so endless options swapping this out. I think a nice brown strap, probably suede, would look fantastic on this. Comes as no surprise, but a really good looking watch, and I think what Breitling are doing in these past couple of years has really been fantastic, and it's great to see the brand coming back to their history and heritage in a really nice way. So go check this one out on the website today. From there, let's head over to a very cool Panerai, which at first glance looks like a standard radiomere, but once you look closer, you realize it's an 8-day with the JLC movement, which is just incredible. Really cool watch. And I love the design, I love how it fits. I like Panerai, you guys and girls know this, so let's take a closer look. So next up, Panerai time with the the Panerai Radiomere. Just decided to combine both of them there. 8-day with the very incredible and impressive manually wound JLC caliber, with the 8-day right there. This is what they call the Panerai caliber OPXIV, but it is a JLC caliber made for Panerai, with that impressive 8-day power reserve, with the power reserve indicator here on the back, beautifully finished. It's just a damn good looking watch. This is the PAM 00190, and this one's from November 2005 with its box and paperwork paired on a nice Panerai brown strap with its buckle, and it does come with a couple of additional straps as well. It's in great condition. It was serviced by Panerai in 2016. It hasn't had a service since then, but has been for our testing, and it is in fantastic running order and will come with our 12-month warranty as standard. But yeah, really cool watch, really interesting looking design, and just nice to have an 8-day power reserve Panerai. I feel like Panerai is one of these brands that produce fantastic watches with great history, and then every now and again they bring something out and they just throw in a little something that you'd have no idea it exists unless you either turn the watch around or know a little bit more about it. For example, this looks like a standard radiomere, but for those die-hard collectors out there, they see the 8 days written there, or they see the movement and they know it is far more than that. And price-wise, it's priced very fair, still less than most Panerais are brand new, so you're getting yourself something special at quite a good price as well. So let's show on wrist and taut dimensions. Here we go on my 7-inch wrist. You can see it's a big watch, don't get me wrong. Panerai is big, it's supposed to be big, but it wears really well, and the radiomere, especially because of the wire lug construction, which I find really great. What you're looking at is 45mm by 49mm lug to lug, 14.5mm thick and 26mm straps for the lugs, and yeah, it's just a damn good looking watch for the price. Go check it out on the website today. From there to an awesome IWC, this is the Mark 15 in automatic from 1999. Really gorgeous watch, comes with its original leather strap and deployment buckle. It's in great condition. I think someone's going to snap this up, especially the price we're asking for it. I'm amazed you can get into the IWC Pilot range, the Marks, especially at this price point. So yeah, let's take a closer look. So next up, this gorgeous IWC Pilot's Mark 15, as you can see stated proudly there on the dial. You've got the beautiful white numerals, the white hands, nice screw down crown with the fish logo, which there's an interesting story on that on our website, so go read the description. And yeah, as you flip it over, you've got the famous IWC screw down case back, a very nice IWC deployant, which is the original, as you can see, and it's original IWC strap as well. I would probably recommend, if you're going to be wearing this daily, a different strap. This one is totally fine and wearable, but it is from circa 1999, so do keep that in mind. But the reference to this one is the IW325301, and inside is the automatic ETA 2892-A2, a very reliable ETA movement, which is fantastic because serviceability and longevity of the ETA is undeniable. You know, IWCs now with their in-house movements, which often are based ETA in the first place, some of their latest stuff is truly in-house, but before that it was heavily modified, so you'd have a bit of additional cost with certain watchmakers, or obviously you'd be sending it back to IWC, whereas with an ETA anyone can do it, well, any watchmaker obviously. I wouldn't recommend trying to service it yourself, but yeah, circa 1999. It doesn't come with any box and paperwork, but it does have, as I said, its original strap and deployment buckle, and it is in great condition. And yeah, the shot on wrist and taut dimension, and this is where this watch really just goes to another level. It shines. It's absolutely fantastic. What you're looking at is 38mm by 47mm lug to lug, 9.5mm thick and 19mm on the lugs. So yeah, a very good looking, very classical pilot's watch, and I think IWC have absolutely nailed it with this series, and there's a reason people really like them. So go check it out on the website today. From there to what will probably be no surprise, my favorite watch on the table, that is this gorgeous Zenith El Primero vintage with, it's just incredible. I'm going to leave it for the video so that way you can see, but really, really stunning. I love this watch. If I was in a position where I'd be adding more watches to my personal collection, I don't think this would be making its way to the website. So let's take a closer look. Easily one of my favorites today, a beautiful Zenith El Primero Surf with that gorgeous silver dial, which contrasts so well with the silver case. It looks very monochromatic, which gives you a lot of free reign when it comes to straps. You can play around a lot with this. It's in great condition, running beautifully, and the reference to this one is 01.0210.415, and inside is the automatic Zenith El Primero caliber 3019 PHC, and this one's from circa 1973. As you can see, original Zenith crown, nice pump pushers, and it just works nicely. Now, obviously, these calibers, or not obviously, if you don't know, but a lot of these Zenith calibers, they are a little bit backwards when it comes to setting. The first position is to set the time, if we can do it live on camera, there you go. First position is set the time, and second position is to change the date over. So don't just go straight in pulling the crown out, because you'll be in the date change position and not the time change position. It takes a little while to get used to, but once you are, you'll be set and ready to go. But there you go, really gorgeous watch, really lovely example, and priced incredibly well when you have a look around as well. Again, everyone knows my love for Zenith. I own a few personally, and I've owned multiple over the years, including El Primeros, and there's a couple I would like to still add to the personal collection at some point. So maybe we will at one stage. Obviously, this one doesn't come with any box and paperwork, but it is in great condition, and condition is everything when it comes to vintage. So let's show on wrist and taut dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist, back when they made chronographs more traditional in sizing, and this was still considered a bigger watch because of the case shape, which blows my mind. 36mm by 39.5mm lug to lug, only 13mm thick and 19mm on the lugs. A fantastic looking watch, and great for someone who wants to get into El Primeros and not break the bank. So go check this one out on the website today. From there to another favourite, this is a Captain Willard. I just sold one earlier today, actually, of the day of recording this video, a really gorgeous 1974 example. And this one is a 1976 example, which has a couple of things we're going to talk about in the video, which make it a bit more affordable than the all-original one we just sold, but still an incredible watch and a great way to get into a vintage Captain Willard that's honest, because there's a lot of them out there. A lot of them have got service parts or replacement parts, and the sellers don't say, which is really frustrating, whereas we do. So let's take a closer look. So next up, a really great Seiko Captain Willard. This is perfect for someone who wants to get into a Captain Willard without breaking the bank and just wants something that looks fantastic, because this certainly does. So let's go through it. What you're looking at is a 6105-8110, and inside is obviously the automatic Seiko caliber 6105, and this one dates from circa May 1976. So really, really great. It has its original lock crown. However, the locking pin is gone inside the case. This is often the case because basically to get away without having seals in the crowns, they had a little notch underneath where the crown goes on the case itself, and this just pushed against it basically. It was a very bad design. They scrapped it very soon after this reference because it would always break, and as you can see, it doesn't lock in place. Again, very common. We've had multiple of these. That's always been the case, apart from the one I just sold, which was one of my personal ones. What you're looking at is a service Yaboki's replacement bezel, which is done true to form. It is slightly thicker than the original, but it looks fantastic and really goes with the overall design. You've got original dial and hands, but they have been reloomed at some point in its past. Very well done, I will add, because at first glance I didn't notice. It wasn't until inspecting closer that I realized they had been reloomed. So again, I would suggest it's probably been done by a Seiko watchmaker, someone who knows what they're doing. Not at Seiko, but like the die-hard vintage Seiko guys. And we've got it on a waffle style rubber strap, which looks fantastic as well. So that covers this example. It is a very nice, honest example for an honest price, with some service parts and service history in terms of the dial and hands being reloomed. So there you have it, circa May 1976, potentially a birth year for someone out there, especially with Christmas coming up. This could be a great gift, or just treat yourself to a great Captain Willard. But they show on wrist and taut dimensions. And this right here is why I've always loved this watch. It wears so well for such a big watch, because Seiko just know what they're doing when it comes to wrist ergonomics. So 43.5mm by 47mm lug to lug, 12.5mm thick, and 19mm on the lugs. A little bit small on the lug size compared to the case, but I really like that contrast personally. I know it's a bugbear for some people, but for me, it's part of the charm. So go check this one out on the website and pick yourself up a great deal. From there, let's go over to a fantastic watch from Yema. This is the Mario Andretti. Mario Andretti wore this watch. I think he won a cup with this watch actually on his wrist, which is super cool. But yeah, let's take a closer look at this one. So next up, a Yema Rally Mario Andretti edition, as it's often referred to, with the beautiful racing dial and the red stripes. It's got this nice bezel, which has got some real age and character to it. The loom has aged nicely. It has been reloomed at some point in its past, but very long ago, and that loom itself has developed age. So it's nice. Got a nice crown, pushers, nice case back as well. The reference to this one is 133183, and inside is a manually wound value 7734, which is different to the 33 because it has a date, and that is the difference between the 34 and the 33. Standard chronograph procedures: start, stop, and reset, as you'd expect. And you've got a 30-minute totalizer over there as well. Sorry, 60-minute totalizer for the chronograph, and running seconds over there. It's a nice, honest example. You're going to get yourself into a Mario Andretti Yema without breaking the bank, because some of them are getting very, very pricey, that's for sure. Circa 1969 is where it dates to thereabouts, maybe 67 all the way up to 70, that sort of age range. But I would say 1969 is a pretty safe bet. But they show on wrist and taut dimensions. And here we go, paired on my 7-inch wrist, a nice larger size chronograph for the period at 38.5mm by 48mm lug to lug, 13.5mm thick and 19mm on the lugs. A little awkward on the lug length, but as always, there are options out there. So go check out this watch on the website today. Switch gears over to a Tissot Visidate, a really gorgeous waffle dial, original crown, which I've never seen. I've never seen one of these crowns before in person. And it sounds so silly getting excited over a crown, but when you sell as many watches as we do, handle as many watches as we do, the little details are what end up really sort of triggering the excitement, and this one is fantastic, especially 1954, super early. Let's take a closer look. Next up, another one of my favorites from this week. Look at this Tissot Visidate automatic. Gorgeous patinaed waffle dial. Hopefully you're getting that in shot with the nice gold tone hands and indices. It really contrasts beautifully against the steel case. You've got a date over there as well. Remember, this is 1954, so circa 1954. This is the reference 6918-3, and inside, behind this nice screw case back and these thick lugs as well, is an automatic Tissot caliber 28.5R-621. Now this is one of the very earliest Tissot automatic movements when they transitioned from bumper automatics. So for those of you that know, when they first introduced automatic, it was on a basically a hammer that would swing back and forth against a spring, and that was what was called bumper automatics. These are the first ones where the rotor was on an actual ball bearing basically, or a center pinion that would spin round freely. So yeah, a true automatic, which is fantastic. The bit I was getting excited about is that Tissot crown, the original faceted crown with Tissot written on there. Looks absolutely incredible and just works so well. This is a really lovely example, probably one of the nicest Tissots I've had. And as I said, if you're after a vintage Omega Seamaster, get something like this. It's just more fun, it's got more to it. If this was an Omega with this kind of waffle dial and this kind of condition, you're probably looking at around double the price, in all honesty. It's kind of crazy. And for Tissot, they're built just as well, and if anything, they pulled Omega out from underneath during a very difficult time much later on. So let's show this one on wrist and taut dimensions. Here we go, look at that, perfect on this brown suede strap, and it suits my jacket as well. Look at that. 34.5mm by 42.5mm lug to lug, 11mm thick and 18mm on the lugs. Endless options for swapping this out if you're not a fan of this combination, but if you're not, what's wrong with you? I mean, it looks incredible. So go check this one out on the website today. From there to a German military Helvetia. It looks amazing. Nice black glossy dial, original hands, original loom. It's just in great condition. Even has the original crown. Now, we can have this replaced for you if you'd like, but we've kept it for originality. It can just be a little bit difficult to grip and wind because obviously it's worn down over the years, but a fantastic watch, really beautiful movement as well. Let's take a closer look at this one. Now, a bit of history here with a 1940s German military Helvetia, or Helvetia, or however you want to say it. Beautiful glossy black dial, nice original loom and original hands, sub-seconds, original chrome case, which is actually in surprisingly good condition. These chrome cases get absolutely battered. Yes, there are a couple of parts where you can see underneath the chrome, but it's not bad at all, and if anything, it adds to the charm. And there's the original crown we were talking about. We can have that replaced if you want, but again, just to keep with authenticity, you can see right there on the case back as well with the D serial, which is what markates it, along with other things as a German military watch circa 1940s. Behind here is a manually wound Helvetia caliber 82A-24, a really beautiful looking manually wound movement, and again, just a very good example. These don't come up often. Nice strap as well. It is fixed spring bars, do keep that in mind, and this is a folded leather strap that has been stuck down to go over it. That's the way you get a leather strap fitted on these fixed spring bars, so you could throw it out onto a NATO, which would look really cool, especially at this case size as well. But let's show on wrist and taut dimensions. Here we go on my 7-inch wrist. It looks really good. 34mm by 40.5mm lug to lug, 10mm thick and 18mm on the lugs. So yeah, you could swap it out onto a nice NATO strap quite easily. You just have to peel off this strap as it is stuck down. As I say, that's how you do it with these straps, but go check it out on the website today. Next up, let's go over to the awesome Smith's PRS 60, a new range which I believe is sold out. As a lot of you know, Smiths do this weird thing where they release a batch and then they get sold out pretty much instantly, and then you have to wait ages and you have to be there ready at the time when they release again. I've bought many Smiths and I've always paid over retail myself pretty much. So again, it's one of those things. I still think at the price point it is very fair what you're getting, even at the above RRP. However, if you are that opposed to paying above retail, which I completely understand and actually sort of say well done to you. You have to just wait to get one. That's pretty much it. So let's have a closer look at this. Next up, a really cool Smith's Commander PRS-60, as it's called. This is one of the newer additions from Smith's, which obviously has borrowed some design cues from the Royal Submariner, specifically the older Explorer dial reference, which is definitely up there with one of my favourites. No crown guards, as it would be called, the big crown with the red triangle on the bezel. It's just nicely done, very nicely done on an oyster style bracelet with their newer clasps with the push button, and it is milled. Very nice upgrade, and the nice case back as well with a sort of gold medallion on there. I think Smiths are doing some great things at the moment, and it's great to see where the brand is heading and the stuff they're coming out with. Some of it I'm not a big fan of, but stuff like this, it's always a good bet at a very affordable price. So as I say, PRS-60, inside is the automatic Miyota caliber 9039, which is one of the higher grade Miyotas and could be found in micro brands and other watches at a much higher price point than this as well. So again, they've done very well with that. And this one's from October 2022 with its box and paperwork. So let's show on wrist and taut dimensions. And this is also where this watch really performs well. It looks really good on the wrist. This is on my 7-inch wrist. What you're looking at is 38mm by 44.5mm lug to lug, 13mm thick and 20mm on the lugs. A very well proportioned, cool little Submariner homage, which is more reference to a vintage model in the first place, which has become unobtainable. Even if you have the money for one, it's very difficult to find a good one. So I'm all for these kind of homages. So go check it out on the website today. And last but certainly not least, a really awesome watch. This is a Spaceman. I can't wait to show you guys this a bit closer. I've had a few of these over the years. I think they're really cool. This is one of the better ones I've had. They were made by a few different factories under the same name, and this one actually has an automatic movement. It has just a better build quality overall. So I think you guys and girls are going to really like this, and a really gorgeous dial. So let's take a close look. Next up, the one I've been excited to bring to you guys and girls for some time. This is the Spaceman Odysseus Velux. I'm going to butcher all this, but a really gorgeous looking 1970s watch. This is when we landed on the moon and space age was coming and the future was bright, and designers went just absolutely crazy with some of this stuff. And for me, I think this looks fantastic. I really like the bracelet design, the heavy taper, the sort of case back with the black plastic incorporated there with the crown as well. The faceted crystal, which if you crack, good luck getting another one, that's for sure. But yeah, very interesting looking watch. And I really love the dial. You've got that sort of maroony, browny, reddy, I don't know what you'd call it. It looks like red wine, to be honest. Nice hands as well, orange in the date and the day. And inside here is an automatic AS caliber, which is the caliber 2066. And this one's from the circa 1970s, reference 46617/7. It's in very good condition. There are scratches and stuff on the crystal, it's to be expected. But yeah, a very cool watch. And let's go straight on to showing it on the wrist, all in one go rather than cutting it like I usually do. This is fitted for my wrist. You do have some more notches out as well, but what a funky watch. Again, this won't be for everyone. I like this kind of stuff personally. So you are looking at 37.5mm by 44mm lug to lug, 14mm thick and 35mm at the lugs tapering down towards the clasp. It is a beast of a watch and a real talking point for any of you out there into this sort of 1970s design. Go check it out on the website today. So there you have it, guys and girls. Something for everyone this week, from brand new, from Breitling to an awesome Panerai to IWC to Zenith to a unapologetically 1970s watch called Spaceman. I mean, can you get any more crazy than that? 10 awesome watches. Go check them out on the website, kibblewatches.co.uk. If you have a watch you'd like to sell, fill out the sell form on the website and we will get back to you within 24 to 48 hours. If you've heard nothing, then please just send us a little nudge, but stick to the one platform. If you're emailing, stick to email. If you're texting, stick to text. If you're Instagram, stick to Instagram. The reason being, sometimes it's not always me who looks at these things, and I want to make it nice and easy for you, so that way you're not hearing two different things or getting confused by different responses, because at the end of the day, I'm probably going to word things a little bit differently to my wife Leah or to Danny, who's in the back photographing as we speak. So keep that in mind, and I appreciate it, and we'll see you all again next week. A week closer to Christmas. It's coming around quick, so get your orders in so we can get them shipped out to you and on your wrist before Christmas. Cheers. Bye-bye.